unless you've been living under a rock, release some of the Epstein files, and most of it, I say most of it, comes at the expense of a former president. Yes, a former president, Bill Clinton. And of course, we gonna get into it because today Bill Clinton wants him to release them all. Release them all just the way everybody wants to do and not redact it because he said this simple thing. Y'all remember this scene from this movie? I hope y'all do. If y'all don't,
I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen. If I'm going down, I'll take a whole lot of people. I told you.
He said he's taking a lot of people with him. Release the files. Release them. Show yourself. You know we used to be friends, right? You know we used to be friends, right? Release all the tapes from. But let's go into what he's actually saying today and get into this video. As I'm excited to get into this because I want to know y'all thoughts. I want to know y'all thoughts on releasing this and saying what he has to say and everybody else. Let's go read into it. Statements from Angel Urena, spokesman for the former president, Bill Clinton. The Epstein Files Transparency Act imposes a clear legal duty of the U.S. Department of Justice to produce the full, and complete records and public demands and deserves. However, what the Department of Justice has released so far and the manner in which it did so makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected. We do not know whom, what, or why, but we do know this. We need no such protections. Accordingly, we call on President to direct Attorney General Bundy to immediately release any remaining material mentioning or containing a photograph of Bill Clinton. This includes, without limitation, any records that may exist and are subject to disclosure under Act Public Law 11938, enacted November 19, 2025, including grand jury transcripts, interview notes, photographs, and findings by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York as referenced under oath to Congress by President First-Term Attorney General. Refusal to do so will confirm the widespread suspicion that the Department of Justice actions to date are not about transparency, but about insinuation, using selective releases to imply wrongdoings about individuals who have already been repeatedly cleared by the very same Department of Justice over many years, under presidents and attorney generals of both parties. Listen, did he just say both parties? He said, listen, you see the pic at the bottom right there? By the way, he's not naked. He's in a pool. He's in a jacuzzi. He has his underwear on. I hope. But as you see, they released some salacious pictures of him with Epstein. We also seen the pictures with Epstein, but nothing like salacious as hanging out with him. But I don't know your thoughts. How do you feel about this? Do you think that Bill Clinton was a part of Epstein files? Do you think? Of course you do. Of course we all do, right? But we know also that Donald is friends with Bill Clinton at this time. He's friends with Epstein at this time. They had fallen out, so we want to have that whole thing clear. I know there is that found out and worked with the FBI to get Epstein caught after finding out what he did. That's a theory. Let me know if you think that's true. But most people think or know that it's probably a land deal, that wanted some land, Epstein didn't sell it to him, blah, 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 that entire story, and they had a falling out. Which, like I said, it gives an alibi. The alibi is that he wasn't friends with him later on, once he started the island, even though we don't know when particularly he started the island or anything he did. But that paper that was just full of retractions, that whole report was full of, we didn't learn nothing. We got mostly pictures of Bill Clinton. That's mostly what we got, with a few hearsay or here or there, with nothing proven, because they had a mass redaction, according to CNN, of it the day before. They were just redacting a lot of things. So do you think that's fair? Who do you think is involved? Do you think all the politicians are involved? All of them? How about your favorite? Is your politician involved? Or is it just the Democratic Party? Or is it just the Republican Party? That's like a lot of questions that we should ask, because I want to know your biases too. Do you have biases? Do you think it's the whole swamp, as we say, or the deep state? Or do you think that it was just a group of people who just happened to hang out with this man who happened to have an island with kids? Because I want to say this too before we get fully into the fully thought out because I want to know this whole video is on your thoughts of this redaction and the Bill Clinton pictures. I don't know your full thoughts. Do you honestly think that everybody that met Epstein or would have visited his house or anything participated? It's the same thing we did. I don't think everybody ever been to a Puffy party participated in some of the things that Puffy did. I don't think everyone that visited Epstein Island knew what was going on. Now, how do we prove that if you went there and it was this ring of bad things happening? How do you prove that you weren't part of it? That's kind of the problem we have with it. But like I said, I still don't think there's no chance that everybody that visited him knew what was going on. How could they not know, Trevor? You do realize that everybody knows a criminal? Everyone knows someone who does PDF things, pretty much. You don't know they do it though. You don't know they do it because they hide it. No one wants to be known as that creepy guy, that creepy person who just messes with kids. Nobody wants to be that person. So the whole entire thought process is, even if they are with Epstein, did they do anything? Because now we have to prove that also. Court of public opinion gonna say they are, because right now we're in a culture that you have to know things even if you don't. Let me retract something I just said. Everybody know somebody committed a horrific crime. I'm pretty sure everybody has met someone that committed a horrific crime and might not know they did it. You have eaten food in their houses probably or did something wrong. Because the widespread craziness of all this does hit a little bit. I do want everybody to acknowledge that. But at the same time, it's unfair for me to say everybody knows specifically that problem. But you know somebody committed a heinous act. Yes, you do. Don't lie. I know you're in the comments. I don't know. Nobody do it. You don't know. But you know. You don't know, though. But does it make them guilty? Probably. These are powerful people. I'm pretty sure they got dirt on everybody. They hid it for so long. I'm pretty sure they do know something. But at the same time, we'll use it as like a political football to like throw at people when we don't like them. Like we just throw allegations at people that we don't like because we don't like them, right? Even if somebody don't even know who they are or never met this person, never been in their house, we like to throw allegations at a bunch of people knowing them because they corrupt, right? So I do want to know your thoughts. Who do you think involved? Do you think they're protecting somebody? Because as Bill Clinton said, as we see it here, he's stating clear as day that they are redacting some information. They're actually redacting information. So if they're redacting information, somebody knows something. He said both parties, very same Department of Justice over many years under president and attorney generals of both parties. This is not a one-person show. This is not a one-person show. This is a multiple people show. Bill Clinton said, release it all. You're going to embarrass me? Release all the tapes. Release all the transcripts. Do you think they should do it, though? Because I've found people with the mindset that it might cause a lot more harm than good. Or it might cause the whole country to go in chaos and a lot of people be in a lot of situations, going to be in a lot of interesting spots. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts is on this whole thing. Do you agree with Bill Clinton? Should they just release everybody? Should he Nino Brown it? And Nino Brown is going to make sure all y'all go down with me? Or do you think it will cause too much chaos? And do you think your people do it? I don't know all that. I'm interested. Let me know in the comments. And like I said, I appreciate y'all. Peace.